everyone. Welcome to Hue Spotlight. I'm Tracy Koga, and I have a very special guest tonight. Her name is Violet Vopni, and remember that name because after this show tonight, we are going to create Violet's fan base. So then she will disappear. Okay, no, not quite. We are definitely going to talk about your music, Violet. And so let's start with your story on how, let's forget about the pandemic, forget about COVID. Getting into the music business is still a grind.
Yeah, it's still a grind. The grind will never end, I don't think. I think once it ends is when you have your fan base. And then you don't have to be on media anymore. And then you can just hang out with your bubble of cool fans.
All right. Okay. So I want to discuss this because Violet has actually deconstructed the whole mystique of how you get rich being a musician. Oh, maybe that's at the top end.
Maybe that's at like the very top end. I mean, like if you're Beyonce.
Yes. Okay. So let's talk about her, Beyonce.
Right. So Beyonce, she's a superstar, and we used to see her out all the time, and we used to see everything that she did. The media would cover it, and it was very like in your face and on the radio constantly, and all of that. And now it's like she drops music, she'll put it on streaming. I haven't really heard a new Beyonce song on the radio for a while. But the thing is she's got her fan base. She's got her email list. She's got people who are just following her and basically throwing money at her all the time. So, like, why does she need to do any of those things anymore? She doesn't need a song on the radio because she doesn't need to attract new fans. She's already got this little bubble, this cluster of millions of fans who already follow everything she's going to do. And so anytime she drops something, she just has to send them a private email, right? Which is now that's the rapport, right? So you build a rapport with those people, and then when they get that email, it's like, oh, this is like a secret thing. Like, this isn't going to radio or this is just coming to me as a Beyonce fan.
Wow.
Right? And that's really important to those fans. And then of course they're going to buy everything that she puts out.
Yes.
And then she makes her money.
And
that's why we don't hear about her much anymore.
So on the flip side, how do you relate this to you, Violet, in this Canadian music industry?
Okay, well, the Canadian music industry, they always talk about, and in any industry really, in any industry this applies, you have to have your 1,000 true fans, as they call it. And if you have 1,000 true fans that you can email and they will buy your stuff, you're probably going to be doing okay in that industry. Now, of course, that's local, and then if you want to expand it, then you have to scale it up, right? So you have to go from like 1,000 to 10,000 to 100,000. And by the time you hit 1 million, you're making money. Like, you're making an annual income that you can live on.
No kidding.
At that point, because if you put out an album once a year, you put out 10 products in a year, like an album, a t-shirt, a hat, whatever your merch is going to be, and then you just sell those to the 1 million people who are following you, then there you go. That's your money for the year.
So are you following this plan, Violet? and where are you?
I'm at like the lowest end of this plan right now. I think I have like 200 people on my list.
Well, maybe. Hey, we're going to grow this tonight.
Right?
We're going to grow this tonight. But I think part of it, though, is people getting to know you.
Yeah, that is the thing, and that's where the authenticity factor comes in, right? So you have to be yourself always, and I feel like that's the music part. That's where the creativity part comes in,
right?
Because I have to connect with my sound and my lyrics and the stories that I'm telling and stuff like that. That's why they're going to be on that mailing list, and that's why they're going to buy the product they find and they see. The marketing side of me is just like
always going.
It's always going, it's always in there, but
and it's so tough. But that's a great segue. All right, your story, your sound, and your music.
Oh, well, I'm a singer-songwriter, and I started when I was I wrote my first song when I was 11, which was in 1995, and I write lyrics and melodies. So I'm kind of a lyricist and a composer, and then the band comes in and they create a chord structure based on the melody that I've created for the song, and then so on and so forth. Everybody kind of just figures out their parts as we go along, and they all have to sort of build this thing around what I've started with.
Okay.
So I usually have a pretty solid idea that I've started with, and I will even have like the stops and the breaks and the cool stuff that I want to do in there, and then they're like, oh, okay, so we just follow her and do that. Got it.
Okay, it sounds simple, but I know it's complicated. I guess your stories too, what resonates with you?
Oh, I tell stories about anything and everything. I've honestly thought of myself a little bit like Taylor Swift. It's kind of like, get to know me a little bit, I might write a song about you. And that it might not be because of like dating as well. I might just write a story because I think it's an interesting story to tell.
Right.
I have a song on my upcoming album called Arizona, which is about my great aunt Doris, who ran away to Texas to get married after her brother died in World War II. And it's just a great story. And she had a lot of problems with that, and so we talk about those problems, and it ends up becoming a song about domestic violence and how, you know, like you're running away because you feel like you're being understood by this person who lives so far away, and then that turns into a nightmare, and so on and so forth. So it becomes like the sad, so you get all these feels and emotions in it, and so if a story has a good emotion, then that's usually what's going to connect. And yeah.
And
So
then for you, your personal background,
oh
your history.
oh gosh, my personal history. I've been singing since I was like tiny. I've been singing since I was 4, like the earliest I can remember, and I would remember lyrics. I'd run around singing like Janet Jackson to the neighbors, you know, running around like, my first name ain't baby, it's Janet, Miss Jackson if you're nasty.
Oh,
Yeah. I'd sing some Paula Abdul, you know, some Cold Hearted Snake, you know, just the classics.
yes.
And then I got into Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston and Janet Jackson and the whole bit, and I just, in my teen years, I was taking choir, vocal jazz, chamber choir.
Wow.
I did some classical training, some classical voice training. And then after high school, I just kind of dropped all of it. I kind of just dropped out of music and got married, had kids.
Oh, yes. Took a break, I guess.
I didn't take a break. I wouldn't say there wasn't really any breaks in my life. I just kind of like pivoted and did different things. I founded Central Canada Comic Con in that time with my first husband, and I wrote a book series. I wrote a fantasy series.
I remember you now. Sorry, I know we're live, but now, Violet, yes, the book. And I think I interviewed you at McNally Robinson.
Yes.
Yes, the graphic.
You looked so familiar.
Graphic
and I was
comic
like,
book. Oh my
no,
goodness.
it wasn't. No,
wasn't it? Or was it just
It was a novel. It was a
a straight up novel?
it was straight up. It was a high fantasy novel.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, and now you
There
are
we
a
go, and then
full-fledged
here we are.
musician, singer-songwriter.
Yeah, well, and I always had my songs, but I just, like, being an author, you can do that by yourself. Being a musician, you can't do that by yourself, and I was always so nervous. And anytime I met a guitarist, or I met somebody who was like, maybe we'll work on your song, I would sing something for them, and they would just floop, floop, floop. And I would just go, ugh.
No,
That's thank you so much, but that's not it. And then I would get really upset, and I felt very shamed. I felt very upset about, like, is this just impossible? Can we start from lyrics and melodies and build an instrumental behind them? Or am I just deficient as a musician? Like, is that just something that's not for me? So I went through a lot of imposter syndrome during that time, just thinking, like, I don't know if this is valid. Like, should I be, like, picking up a guitar and learning how to play? Would that make me more valid? And then 2019, I was at Romy May's Songwriter Extravaganza.
Yes.
And of course, there were 16 people that were performing. 15 out of 16 of them played instruments themselves, and they were solo artists playing an instrument. And then Courtney Fox from the Amadians, and now from Love something. I can't remember her new band's name. I can't remember her name, but she changed it, and she's just such a wonderful person. But she just said, I'm a singer, I'm a songwriter, I write lyrics, I write melodies, and this is the guy who plays guitar for me, and he's just sitting right... James, yes,
I know.
Yeah,
James.
and I just thought, oh, it's the thing. It just light bulb, and I went, oh, I could just get somebody else to play guitar for me? Oh my God.
Confirmation.
Right? Confirmation that would be acceptable.
Yes. But now, is this something, I hate to turn this now into a female versus male thing, conversation, but were you finding that too because you were female? Possibly, this was not an option?
Nope, not at all.
Oh.
Nope. That was never, gender was never an issue. It was really just the skill level and the imposter stuff that was holding me back. I never felt like, oh, that's a guy's thing to do.
Right.
No.
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 Well, now here you are. So the new album, though, a little bit about that and the songs on there.
So the new album is it's the first album where I don't have songs from my childhood. So we finally caught up.
To Violet's life.
We've caught up to the present. You know, we've caught up, and I think the songs that I wrote were from 2020 through to 2021. So they're all very new songs, and they are, how do I put this in a way? When you've written songs for so many years and you just put them in a drawer and put them in a drawer, and then you write a couple of new things, but you don't write a whole new album.
Right.
So you don't grow.
No.
There's just, that was from the past, and then what we did is we developed all the songs from the past, so we made them a thing and did what we needed to do with them, and then this album was the growth. This album was, okay, now I'm in the songwriter zone, I feel validated, I feel accepted by the community, and now I can write the album that I was always meant to write after we got all of these other songs out of the way that I wrote when I was 17 or 14 or 11, you know, once we got all that out of the way, now this is the place that I'm going to. And so I feel very proud of this album because of that, because this was the evolution I was always meant to make. It's just, you know, maybe 15 years later.
But you've learned a lot.
Yeah, I've definitely learned a lot, and so a lot of transferable skills came over from Comic-Con and books and marketing world and all of that stuff. I have to stop saying that I'm really bad at marketing. I have to say I really don't like it. Because I actually won an award for marketing excellence.
Violet, you're full of surprises.
I know.
But having a clear plan definitely helps. But for you now, with everything that you've gone through in life and having this new album out, we talked about the word confirmation, but is it an affirmation too?
It is. Oh yeah, there's definitely so much. I just feel like there's so much affirming things coming to me now, and I'm just very happy. I love the pop songs on this album. I think they're so much fun. It's so nice because a lot of my songs that I wrote when I was younger came from a place of trauma and like very personal places. And now I can write fun songs that are just fun. Right? I don't have to be like, oh, write the indie, emo, sad, folky song. I mean, they're on the album too. We're gonna do one of them tonight. But
yes. Well, yeah, the song is called Truth.
Yeah, the song is called Truth.
And I heard it during rehearsal, and I was just listening more to the lyrics. So there is a story behind it.
There is a story. This is one of the songs that I wrote about a relationship I was in. He was an addict, and he was struggling with that. And yeah, I was enabling him. I was trying to stand by him, but by standing by him, I was enabling him. It was this weird idea that so long as I loved him, I was saying his addiction was okay.
No? Yeah.
And that's ultimately what ended the relationship, because I said, look, your behavior and this addiction is not okay for me. I would really prefer it if you would get help, and I want to stay in your life, but maybe not as a girlfriend, maybe just as a friend.
As a friend.
Yeah. No, he burned me after that. He was just like, burn bridge.
Well.
And it was very sad. It was very sad that he ultimately chose drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, he chose the addiction.
But you got a beautiful song out of it.
I
mean, this is your story, but I'm sure a lot of other people have gone through the same thing.
I'm sure they've been in the same position where they're just watching that person go through the addiction, and they're just thinking, they're just so heartbroken. They're like, look, I'm standing by you and I'm trying. But the truth is when they lie and they say, you know, they're not doing it, and they're trying to say they are getting help and they are working through it, and then you just find out that they aren't, and they're just throwing away their lives. It's tough. It's tough to watch people do that.
Right. Yeah. Is there a song on the new album called Friend Zone? Or
Yes.
Is this? Yes.
Yes, there is.
You have to share the story. Yes.
Oh, the friend zone
The
story.
friend zone. And it's not the family fun zone. Bomber game. This is friend zone.
This is friend zone. So in 2016, I was dating a girl who was originally from Newfoundland, and she brought me to a New Year's Eve party. Now, of course, I had I'd been president of Comic-Con for about a year, so I was, very protective of my reputation. I can't be out doing crazy things at parties. No, that was going to come back on me in a bad kind of way. So I was very uptight at this point, and I went to this party, and yeah, these people were interesting. All her friends were just, they were a very comfortable group of friends with one another, right? And then I was fresh meat. ultimately.
Okay.
Ultimately fresh meat. So I walk in here with a person I'm dating, and everybody at that party was flirting with me and checking me out, and I was like, what is happening? just whoa, this is a lot. And I mean, I had been married for 12 years, and this was like the relationship right after that marriage ended, and I was not used to people hitting on me. Just not used to it.
Give me my space.
It just didn't happen. It just, being president of Comic-Con, people don't hit on you.
No.
They know there's a divide. They're like, wow, we have no chance with that. But these people didn't know that about me, so they were just like, woo, she's hot. I was like, whoa, what is this? I don't understand. What is this life? What alternate universe have I fallen into?
I know.
Yeah, where's the exit?
door?
Where's the door? I don't know. So I just kind of took it in stride, and one of the guys at the party who was very interesting ended up becoming a really close friend of mine for a long time.
Oh, good.
But that night at the party, I threatened him because he was trying to get fresh with my girlfriend. And it was just sort of a thing. They had sort of a thing. Well, because she's
Yes.
a lesbian. So he was trying to get with her, and they had kind of like and she was like, no, but, it's a party. So
Yes.
there's
The friend zone.
There's like a flirty place that they were trying to go to, or he was trying to get to with her. And I was just like, no, I will hurt you if you do this. So after the party, he sends me a friend request on Facebook. And I said to him, do you really want to be my friend, or are you just trying to get in my pants? And he says to me, I'm really trying to be your friend. And so when I wrote this song, I told the story about being at the party and feeling really uncomfortable, and all the friends being really flirty. And basically my clap back to them was, are you cool with the friend zone? Are all of you cool with the friend zone? Because that's where we're at now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So there you go. I mean, standing up for your rights. I mean, it's in a friendly way.
But in a really friendly way.
Yeah.
It's kind of more of a quirky way. It's not like, it's not like I'm putting people in the friend zone that I've, you know what I mean? It's not that. It's like, no, you're new, and
there's
you're
a
coming
space.
on too strong.
Yeah, there's
So,
space that you have to be before you get to the next step.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's boundaries.
Well, Comic-Con, novelist, singer-songwriter now, and she's going to perform for us. And I have to say, you look beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, courtesy, though, of a shout-out to Mac, St. Vital Center.
Yeah, Mac at St. Vital Center, man, they saved me, man. 15 minutes for this. It was great.
Well, no, and hey, ladies, if you have to go to a party and use the word friend zone,
Just play the song. It's okay.
Drop by Mac. They'll do you up really good. And oh my goodness, this has been so much fun. The name of the album coming up.
The name of the album is Imaginations.
Imaginations.
Yeah.
So we have Friend Zone, we have Arizona on there, and now you're going to hear Truth.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Violet Vopni. Like her, be a fan. She's looking for 1,000. We're going to get her there, folks. So don't go away. We now have a great interview with Lisa Richard. She's another cool female rocker out on the East Coast. I want to give a big welcome to Lisa Richard, all the way in beautiful Halifax. But it's the beauty of being virtual. We can have you right here in Winnipeg.
I feel like I'm right there in Winnipeg.
Well, welcome to Hue Spotlight. And Lisa, just to fill you in, the show is really to celebrate all the hardworking musicians. I'm fortunate enough now we can have live music here too as well, so of course they're local. And I have to brag, Winnipeg has a wealth of riches of amazing musicians, but the East Coast is making a splash, especially Halifax, and even out in Newfoundland and Nova Scotia.
Absolutely.
It's
one of the reasons I moved here.
So I guess give us a little backgrounder or backstory on yourself, Lisa.
Sure. I grew up in northern New Brunswick. I'm a fisherman's daughter, but I did end up going to university and becoming a chiropractor. So I was practicing chiropractic for a number of years now, but there was always music in my everyday life, and I always had a band that I was in, and all the time I was going through school, I was singing and I was in a band. But I just decided to take it a step further and finally put my own music out there. I did it for myself just as a demo, and we decided to master it and submit it to Music Nova Scotia and different things, and it was nominated for Country Album of the Year. So it was a bit exciting to know that people wanted to hear some of the stuff that I was doing. So that was back in 2016, and here we are today. I've taken the plunge and spent a lot of time in Nashville since, and my second album is finally out now, and that was produced by Jason Barry, who some people may recognize his name from producing and working with Dean Brody and Terry Clark and a lot of big country names that are out there. So I'm really excited about this album that just came out.
So needless to say, country is in your heart. Now, talking about your music, getting it out there, and working in Nashville, you're, I think, going to return to Nashville. She's got a big smile on her face. Yes.
It's long overdue, but I did have to put a stop on a few things. I mean, even my album should have been done a while ago, but you know, there was something of a pandemic for a few years, so things slowed down with my traveling. I was traveling down to Nashville quite a bit, spending quite a bit of time down there, but also in Europe as well. I was actually doing a tour in Ireland when COVID started, so I just got back before everything shut down in Canada. But things are getting back up and running. I'm finally going back to Nashville tomorrow, and I'll be down there for the next 2 weeks and doing some singer-songwriter events. And it's a bit surreal because one of the events that I'm getting to do, the very first one actually that I'm getting to do, is at 3rd and Lindsley in Nashville, and that's the very first venue that I got to share the stage with Vince Gill and the Time Jumpers back in 2018, and I've been on stage with them a few times since then, but this is special because one of the songs off my album is what I'm going to get to perform this time at a singer-songwriter event, so I'm really excited about doing that.
I'm curious, Lisa, what is the process in Nashville? I mean, we hear stories of, you know, singer-songwriters slings their guitar over their shoulder, hitchhikes to Nashville, and boom, lands on the stage. I don't think that really is what happens. Is there networking, or like how do you begin?
I don't know if there's a true cookbook approach, to be quite honest. I mean, I'm certainly, you know, just one person that has found their way, and I think people have found different ways to, you know, do what they do. I just was very fortunate on my very first few trips going there to meet some amazing people that have taken me under their wing and kind of shown me the ropes as I'm going, and were amazing songwriters. So I got to write with them and work with them, and you know, one thing kind of leads to another. So it's really about relationships when you go there, and meeting people and talking to people. And you know, if you have a passion for what you do and you love what you do, people know that, and they can feel it, and people want to be part of it. So like I said, I don't know if there's an actual, you know, ABC to doing this stuff. I did not have a cookbook to figure this out. I was just happy to meet the right people that wanted to work with me, and it kind of snowballed. Every time I went down there, there was just more that I was able to do, more offers that I was getting, and yeah, I've just been very fortunate to work with some amazing people down there.
Oh, and I would imagine the atmosphere down there is just so electrifying, and every time you turn your head, you're probably inspired by someone or something.
Absolutely. I mean, you never know who you're going to see, and you never know if you're going to see the next, you know, big thing, rising star. I mean, everything there is music, and there's so many songwriters and so many musicians, and everybody is just so talented. It is, like you said, it's electrifying. I mean, and it's not just country. There's every type of music there. If you're blues, jazz, I mean, there's rock, anything you want to hear, it's there. I mean, certainly Nashville became famous years ago because of country music, and that's what the Opry is all about. but it's Music City. I mean, there is all kinds of music there, and yeah, don't be afraid if you're going to hear all kinds of different music in different bars. It's a great place if you're looking to enjoy a plethora of music and just immerse in all of that. It's like the Vegas of music, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. So I go down there to get inspired. Absolutely.
I'm wondering too, Lisa, in this day and age now with music so accessible, how do you make, or will there still be separate genres? To me, sometimes the music all, and I hate to say it, sounds the same. And we know that, country crossover to pop crossover back to country, rock, jazz. I mean, blues has sort of managed to keep their own little cliquey group, but not as the success that we've seen with pop music. Do you consider yourself a crossover artist?
A little bit. I mean, in my album, there's definitely full-blown, original country music for sure. You're going to hear that. You're going to hear a hint of blues in there. You're going to hear a hint of pop in there. You're going to hear a little bit of country rock in there. Like there's a little flavor of something different in each song that I do. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely not each song sounds the same. But I understand there's a lot of genres that are crossing over, and it's really what's popular and what's selling right now on radio, and that's what seems to be getting the wheel rolling in that direction. If it's on radio, that's what people are getting used to hearing. So it's a lot of fun. I mean, trying to find that sound that works for the stories that you're writing, because to me, that's what country music is all about. If you got a bit of a different sound in there, okay. But for me, country music is about telling a story. So that's what I try to do, is write and co-write with people stories either that are personal to me or things that are going on around me or with other people, and making that come through in a song. And sometimes, yeah, it's going to cross over a little bit with this type of sound that we're looking for, depending on the topic, right? Yes. So I don't try to put myself in a closed box too much, except for the fact that I feel country music is all about telling stories through song.
No, and that is the beauty of country music, is the storytelling. How important is it for artists, and is it still the end and at all, to have your song on the radio, to be in the top 40?
Yeah, it is. It really is. I mean, I would love to get some of this music into regular rotation, and I just released my newest single off the album called News You Can Use, and it's been out on radio maybe a week, I think, or so now, so stations are just starting to download it and listen. So that's exciting, because the more ears that hear it, the more opportunities you may get to perform or open up for somebody. I mean, I'm certainly open to any of my songs being recorded by somebody else as well. I mean, as a songwriter, that's just as good. I mean, I love to perform, and I love being an artist on stage. But if someone was interested in taking my song and recording it, I would be totally, I'd be totally happy with that as well. So there's a couple of different ways to look at it, but either getting to perform or having somebody else take it on, that would be pretty good too.
Oh, very cool. What are your summer plans?
Well, this tour is going to last about 2 weeks, and I'll be back in July. I'll have a little bit of a breather when I get back. And I have festivals coming up, one in Nova Scotia, one in New Brunswick. So yeah, it's festival season in the summer, right? So we'll have that all on my Facebook and website, so people can find us. And we're already booked for New Year's Eve, so we have a big show coming up at Oak Island Resort New Year's Eve, so that's already been booked. And we're doing another show at the Carlton in Halifax, because that show we did for the album release was sold out, so they're getting us to come back and do another one when I get back. So there's lots of shows coming up. I'm also going to Nashville right now to do some songwriting, because we've already decided there will be album 3. Album 3 will happen.
You're just taking 2 years off and putting it all into 2022, but that's okay. Yeah. Oh no, that's fabulous. And just before we go, getting to perform in front of people again, feeling that connection, scared, elated, don't know.
It's been different. Like I have been getting back. I was doing 50 or 60 shows a year, and then it went to nothing basically. So getting back into, on stage show shape has taken a little bit, but the response that we get from people today is different. And I don't know if any other artist feels that way, but people were appreciative of live music before. They are even more appreciative today than what they were pre-pandemic.
Really?
People are starving for live music. It's amazing. I mean, people will just come up and give you money. They're just so happy to be there. And, if you're selling a CD for $20, they're giving you 25 or 30. They just want to give you money for doing what you're doing, because I think people are looking forward to feeling again through music, through live music, because I think that's one thing we've been missing so much is, going to concerts, going to festivals, going to singer-songwriter events where you get to experience those stories and feel them live. It's not the same as listening to it on the radio or CD. When you're live, you're feeling something different, and we haven't had that. So people are very appreciative, and I'm just loving it. Pretty much every show I've done, people have laughed and cried, and it's just a whole, journey that we go on together. And so here we go. We're going to start a new journey in Nashville very soon.
Well, we can only have our fingers crossed, Lisa, that you will be coming through the prairies and Winnipeg for sure. Yes, I know, because we are starving for live music, and I definitely want to catch one of your shows. So thank you so much for taking this time with us, Lisa. And I'll let you set up the video of your new single.
Absolutely. So this video is for News You Can Use, and it is to help people focus on the positive things in life and forget about what's going on out there for just a few moments, so you can get that positive vibe from News You Can Use.
It's the smile of a newborn child. It's the ladybug that stopped on by. It's the kids that made it home that night. It's the stars that keep shining so bright. Make it all worthwhile. Baby, I've got news you can use. Jump around, dance and shout, let it all out. Be a little crazy. Baby, I got news you can use. Fall in love, push your luck, buy a new truck. Stay up late. Baby, I got news you can use. News just for you. It's the years they celebrate together. First love that lasts forever. It's the hearts for all the lost souls and the ones that never let go of love. Here's to all of us. Baby, I've got news you can use. Jump around, dance and shout, let it all out. Be a little crazy. Baby, I've got news you can use. Fall in love, push your luck, buy a new truck. Stay up late. Baby, I've got news you can use. News just for you. Time around, enjoy the ride, but slow it down. So jump around, dance and shout, let it all out. Be a little crazy. Baby, I've got news you can use. Fall in love, push your luck, buy a new truck. Stay up late. Baby, I've got news you can use. News just for you. Spin around, run it down, let it play out. Don't be afraid. Baby, I've got news you can use.
Hi there, I'm Violet Vopni, and this is my guitarist. This is Gabriel, and we're going to play my new single, which is out this Friday, August 19th, on all streaming platforms, Spotify, YouTube, Apple, Deezer, wherever you listen to music, it's going to be out there. The song is called Truth.
Such a long way to go. I tried to be the hope in your last breath. I didn't know you died a long time ago. But the truth hit so hard, and the price is too steep. I ignored every red flag you waved. I trusted you when you said it was over. I stood by you for weeks in the hospital. But the truth hit so hard, and the price is too steep. You gamble with your life, and the water is too deep. One day you will know it's not worth trading your soul, and it won't be too late to find courage and control. I couldn't follow you down this road to ruin. I couldn't make you change your reckless ways. I couldn't watch you choose a life of chaos. I couldn't save the day, but the truth hit so hard, and the price is too steep. You gamble with your life, and the water is too deep. One day you will know it's not worth trading your soul, and it won't be too late to One day you will know it's not worth trading your soul, and it won't be too late.
Wow. Thank you. That was beautiful. So
you.
much. Thank you, Gabriel. Thank you, Violet. Violet Vopni. The new album, Imaginations, comes out on Friday, August 19th. Did I get that right?
Comes out on September 23rd.
September 23rd. Oh, no.
Truth is out.
Truth is out on
August
19th.
Yes.
There you go.
There you go.
On all the platforms, Spotify, wherever you can find music. So thank you once again, Violet.
Thank you so much.
Okay, and thank you all for joining us here on Hue Spotlight. We'll see you next time.